My dear sisters and brothers, whom are we following? You will say Jesus. It has to be. Because if we are Christians, then we are following Jesus. But how are we following Him? At which level? In the head. Very often we know about Jesus. We know what He has said. But we are not making an application of Him to our life and seeing that connection. All of us in our baptism have put on Christ. That means each one of us is a cell in His body. Each one of us is unique, but unique in Jesus, becoming a unique cell in His body. That is how we have to perceive ourselves. What happens to us is we remain self-centered and we are trying to be doing all this jugglery, so to say. Not very clear. But if you have this clarity, then we will know that each one of us is very important to the other, not to imitate the other. That is what happens when we are egoistic, self-centered. We are trying to compare ourselves. No. Each one of us is unique. Each one of us is blessed. Each one of us is making Jesus present. When you have this outlook, then you will look at all things differently. In the Old Testament, Job was very blessed. And Job was enjoying everything. So the evil one said to God, "See, because you're good to him, he is good to you. Now let anything befall him, see if he is going to be good. He will run away from you." Job did not relent. He was very firm. But however, as human being, he also began to feel, why all this? Now, in such moments that we will also experience, why all this? When we are so good, others are not good to us. Why is God, allowing this? Such things can come out from us. But it is these things that we need to take it to the Lord, who will transform it. These are actually opportunities for us to get more with the Lord, because such incidences are going to make us more one with Him. Because what happened to Jesus? All along He said, I have to suffer. Why did He say that He has to suffer? Any one of us knows that if you love anything, there is suffering involved in it. But that suffering is not looked at as suffering. It is a joy. Look at the mother. When she is going through childbirth, it is very painful for her. But there is joy in it. Here were some people who came to me and said, years have passed and we have not had children. They want a child. They want to be blessed. And so, there is joy when a gift of a child is given to us. So also, whatever we want, we just cannot get it like that. We have to struggle for it. If you want to be good in anything, you love it, you'll be ready for any sacrifice. Look at people who want to do well in something. They work hard for it. They have to prove themselves. But that is not a drudgery. It is a joy because you understand this very well and you can execute it better. For us also, to be Jesus is a great joy. Whatever comes to us, we must take it to Him, tell it to Him, surrender it to Him, and you will see His Spirit will take you on eagle's wings, and you will transcend that and become more mature. Now you will be able to empathize with others who are going through certain problems of that kind. You will have a heart and compassion. And this is what I want you to see, is what we will become. We will become compassionate like Jesus. Today's gospel is showing us this. Simon, Andrew, James, John, the four of them, they are together. They go to Simon's house. Mother-in-law is sick with fever. She is lying in bed. They tell it to him. What does he do? He goes to her. He takes her by the hand. He lifts up and the fever is gone. Similar things will happen to us. You go to Jesus and tell him, okay, Lord, I'm sick. He wakes you up. I've had this experience. After working very hard, doing all the things that I had to do for the Novena and feast. Fourth, we ended. Fifth, they wanted me to attend a ceremony. It was late in the evening, and instead of being at rest, I was there till midnight, because it was special. Following day, I was again very busy. Instead of taking rest, I was with the others, and I had to do this. That evening, I got a cold and a fever, and I knew that I was going to be down because I had not rested enough. But that night, I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I surrender this to you. I thank you now that you have healed me. You have heard my prayer. And the whole night, I just kept drinking hot water. By morning, I was absolutely okay. Fever gone, no cold. But I had to get all right. It took me another 2 days. Fever was gone, but I was now getting better, getting again acclimatized to the situation. The fever had left me totally weakened. The cold had taken possession of me. So now the healing was taking place. But all the time I believed that I was all right. And indeed I was. So that is how we've got to live our life. You have asked for something, believe you have received it, because Jesus has told us this. And when you believe, it will happen to you. Say, I'm okay, I'm all right. And that will happen. Because Jesus is in us, and not just we, but He is also saying this to us. Get up, and you're all right. And so we can do that. My dear sisters and brothers, we can go to Jesus, and He will truly show us. Now Paul is telling us, when you are with Jesus, and you're one with Him, you will be able to empathize with anyone. When people come to me for different things, counseling or confession or just a blessing, I'm very much in empathy with them. Why? Because I'm uniting them all the time to Jesus, not to me. They're telling me, but they're not telling me, they're telling Jesus. And so I also keep it in Jesus so that Jesus will give them the answers, either through what I say or through what they are now experiencing as they speak to me, to Him through me. And that is what happens. When we do such a combination, then you will see a lot of miracles taking place, healings taking place. And you can do it, provided you also keep practicing. What do we have to practice? Practice the presence of Jesus. He's with us now. He's the core of our being. So how do you be with Him? As He has told us, for me it is very important. He says, remain with me as I remain with you. In you and in me. That is what He says. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. How do you do that? At the breath. You breathe, you're being filled from your toes right up to your head in every cell and organ of your body, mind and spirit. And everything when you breathe out, you're emptying it out in Jesus. And it will happen to you. You do that in Jesus' name, it will happen. Immediately you're set free. Because Jesus does that. Then He fills you up with His goodness. Then you keep emptying it. Just as it takes 5 minutes to clean a dish with water and soap, with Jesus' name at every breath, you'll be internally cleaned up just before you go to bed. And when you go to bed, Jesus will work in you because there are these inner structures of sin, patterns, which you have actually, by being egocentric, have done it with the evil one. But the evil one knows that now once I've got you internally, You can say any amount of things externally that will not change you. I will not sin, I will not tell lies, I will not do this and I will not do that. You may say any amount, but you keep doing it because internally you're formatted. So this internal formatting, Jesus works on during the night and He unformats you. Now you need to be formatted in His truth, in His ways. So remain united again in the morning, take your rosary, in each bead is one breath. Keep emptying everything in Jesus. And now what will happen is, you're a new creation in Jesus by morning. You will be reformatted in Jesus. Because not the ways of evil, not your ego ways, but the ways of Jesus. And His truth will set you free from all those past things. Now what will happen during the day as you meet people? Oh, first and foremost, you take yourself. Anything that regurgitates in you, that means the past comes in, one, experience. Immediately you say, Jesus, Jesus, and it is out. And in that place, Jesus fills you with His ways. Now you become slowly sensitive to what He's saying and communicating to you. That is how you will start becoming better within yourself. And now when you encounter others, they're also living in sin, no? They're also doing things not united to Jesus. So you keep their thoughts, their feelings, their behavior in Jesus. Rather than react to them, which we normally will do, and that's how sin keeps playing its game and creating hell for us. You keep doing this, and you will see that you are much more calmer. You have a lot more compassion now towards them. And you will allow Jesus to touch them through your thoughts, words, and deeds, and you will experience transformation. It might happen immediately, or it might not happen. Then you have to bear the cross, take up your cross daily and follow me. So you have the energy because Jesus is there with you. This is how we can live our life very meaningfully and wonderfully. So as St. Paul says, to the weak I've become weak. To those who need me in different ways, I'm become that. Because Jesus is in me, Jesus is in you, and He can help us to get transformed from our past into the new way in freedom so that we can live free. The truth will set you free. So my dear sisters and brothers, you've heard all of these. Let us practice it. I tell you that at night you must, or during the time of prayer, even when you come for Mass, if you just hold your hands like this and keep it in your lap and participate in the whole Mass like this, I guarantee you, by the end of this Mass, there will be a lot of healing in you. Healing of what? The negative that is there within you. The negative needs to be healed. Only the Lord can heal you. And when you remain uniting yourself like this to Jesus, and you learn to participate by being centered on Him, great will be yours life. And through you, all of us and everyone else will also benefit from it. Let us now try and practice it. Hold your hands like this. Keep them in your lap. And as you breathe in, from your toes right up to your head, you're filled with breath. Breath is life, and Jesus is life. So you're filled with Jesus. And everything in you is floating in Jesus, so to say. In His name, just empty all that is there within you, whether you know it or not, but you believe that you're emptying it. And when you do, Jesus takes us serious. He immediately sets us free from those things that are burdening us. And the next breath, He fills us with His goodness. Experience that and keep practicing it. You will soon be able to experience peace, silence, and calm. You'll be able to see what's going on within you and keep surrendering it to Jesus so that it does not trouble you. There are so many things of the past we are carrying and still living with them today. Lord, touch each one of us now. Set us free from them, all those things that are of the past which are enslaving us, and make us totally free in you so that we are moved by your love and your Spirit.